Friends in Christ, Pastor Brian here. Christian character is when our disposition, thoughts, intentions, desires, and actions conform to Christ and his teachings. This week, we'll explore what Christian character means when we as followers of Jesus disagree with other Christians and with the reign of the world. Now, just because Jesus calls us to be one, to love one another, does not mean that Christians won't disagree. Now, once you move away from these general principles we've been talking about, begin to get into specifics. There's much to discuss. What does it mean to love someone in this situation? I mean, sometimes loving someone means setting boundaries. It can mean having consequences, but how do you know when that is and what those consequences are to be? And this is where Christians can and do get into some intense discussions with themselves and others. But being followers of Jesus does mean we disagree in a manner that looks different from the rest of the world. Jesus in Matthew 18 lays out a process for settling disagreements. One that emphasizes going directly to the person you have a conflict with and addressing that issue privately and respectfully. And that if that doesn't work, you bring one or two trusted people in to offer guidance and their perspective as you work together to come to a solution. In Colossians, Paul tells us the things that we don't do when we disagree. We don't get angry or rage. We don't have malice towards others or slander people by telling untruths about them. Instead, we do not lie, but put on compassion, kindness, humility. We have gentle strength and patience. We remember that our unity lies in Jesus, and we can't change that. So when we disagree, and we will, we do so in a way that respects the image of God that lies in the one we disagree with, and that assumes they are struggling to follow God's path in this matter just as much as we are. When Christians disagree, when they stand up for what is right or struggle with one another over what that might be, we do so in a way that seeks not to destroy others or a relationship, but that leads us to reconciliation and into relationship with others, even those we disagree with. Now, the reality is we do this imperfectly. We get caught up in our own self-righteousness, our frustrations, our need to be right. But this is where we need our siblings in Christ to hold us accountable. This is where we need our community of faith to remind us of our calling. Friends, as followers of Jesus, we speak clearly and affirmatively for what we know to be true. We stand up for those who are the most vulnerable, just as Jesus did, the poor, the unhoused, the hungry, the oppressed. We affirmatively live out who we are in the world, bearing witness to the one who we follow by striving to live out his love for the world so that we might honor his name that we carry and that we might proclaim the good news of God come to us all in Jesus Christ in every word and every deed. Friends, we've explored the character of a Christian over the last few weeks. And it is both as simple as we have talked about and incredibly more complex. But as with all things that deal with Christ, it comes down to love. God's unconditional love for us, expressed best in Jesus Christ, and our call to love others in the same way God and Jesus has loved us. The Christian character is fundamentally love. Let's maybe give that a try for a bit and see what happens. God's blessings.